The year was 1932. Stockholm, a city known for its beauty and sophistication, would become captivated by a crime of shocking brutality. On the evening of May 4th, police were summoned to an apartment in the Atlas area, a working-class neighborhood near the city center. What they found inside would become the stuff of nightmares and spark a mystery that endures to this day. The scene that greeted the officers was one of unspeakable horror. In a small apartment, a woman lay dead, her body bearing gruesome injuries. The case, quickly dubbed the Atlas vampire murder, would grip the city's imagination and expose the darkest corners of human nature. Even now, almost a century later, the question remains: who was the monster who committed this ghastly deed? The image of the victim, forever frozen in time by the police photographer's flash, became a haunting reminder of the city's brush with evil. The newspapers, hungry for sensational details, lapped up the story, publishing lurid accounts that sent chills down the spines of their readers. Stockholm held its breath, waiting for answers that seemed impossible to find. Lily Lindström was 32 years old at the time of her death. She was known to be a sex worker, catering to a clientele that sought anonymity within the bustling city. Lily's life was a tapestry woven from the threads of poverty, hardship, and unfortunate circumstances. Born and raised in Stockholm, Lily had known her share of struggles. She had turned to sex work as a means of survival, a desperate attempt to carve out a living in a society that offered her few options. Her days were spent navigating the dangerous underbelly of the city, her nights a blur of encounters with strangers. Lily's neighbors knew little about her, only that she was a quiet and solitary figure, often seen coming and going at odd hours. To them, she was an enigma, her life a closed book filled with secrets. But to the police, Lily's profession painted a target on her back, making her a vulnerable prey in a city teeming with predators. The discovery of Lily Lindström's body sent shockwaves through Stockholm. The details, leaked to the press and spread through hushed whispers, were nothing short of horrifying. Lily's body was found naked on her bed, her clothes neatly folded on a chair nearby. This eerie sense of order stood in stark contrast to the brutal violence inflicted upon her. Her killer had bludgeoned her savagely, leaving her face battered and unrecognizable, but it was the other details that truly chilled the city to its core. Lily's body had been completely drained of blood, a detail so bizarre and gruesome that it fueled whispers of something more sinister than a simple murder. Adding to the macabre tableau was a bizarre and chilling clue, a blood-stained gravy ladle found near the body. The killer had apparently used this utensil to consume Lily's blood, a detail that sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened police officers. The press had a field day, dubbing the unknown assailant the Atlas vampire. The Stockholm police faced immense pressure to solve the gruesome murder of Lily Lindström. The city was on edge, gripped by fear and fueled by the sensational stories circulating in the newspapers. But the investigation was hampered by the limitations of forensic science at the time. DNA analysis was unheard of, fingerprinting was in its infancy, and crime scene investigation techniques were rudimentary at best. The detectives followed every lead, no matter how tenuous. They interviewed Lily's neighbors, her few known acquaintances, and the clientele who frequented the area. They scoured the streets for any sign of the murder weapon, the missing pieces of the puzzle that could lead them to the killer. But their efforts were met with dead ends and frustrating silence. The police worked tirelessly, their frustration mounting with each passing day. The pressure to find the perpetrator, to restore a sense of security to the city, weighed heavily on them. But the Atlas vampire case, it seemed, was destined to become one of Stockholm's most baffling, unsolved mysteries. The brutality of Lily Lindström's murder, coupled with the strange detail of the blood-drained body and the gravy ladle, ignited a firestorm of speculation. The most sensational theory, the one that captured the public's imagination, was that of a vampire. Stockholm, with its long history of folklore and superstition, became fertile ground for such narratives. The police, however, remained skeptical. They explored other, more grounded theories. Some investigators suspected a medical professional, someone with the knowledge and skills to drain a body of blood. Others focused on the possibility of a client with a blood fetish driven to violence by a dark obsession. Still others considered the meticulously folded clothes, suggesting a compulsive, neat freak trying to impose order on a chaotic act.